What if I told you that millions of people across the UK could soon have a completely new way of seeing their retirement savings? Yet most people still have no idea why this could become one of the biggest changes to pension planning in years. This is not a benefit increase. It is not a surprise payment. But it could change how people prepare for retirement forever. And just when many believe they already know where their pension stands, they may discover something they never expected. For years, one question has frustrated workers, retirees, and financial experts alike. Where exactly are all my pensions? It sounds like a simple question, but for many people, the answer is surprisingly difficult. After changing jobs several times, moving house, or simply forgetting about an old workplace pension, it becomes easier than you might think for retirement savings to become scattered across different providers. Now imagine reaching retirement and suddenly remembering that pension you paid into 15 or 20 years ago. Can you still find it? How much is it worth? Is it still active? Or has it simply faded into the background while life carried on? That is where the story begins. In recent updates, the Department for Work and Pensions has confirmed that progress continues on the new Pensions Dashboard program, a long-term project designed to allow people to view information about their pension securely in one place once the service becomes available. While it is not yet fully available to the public, important work has continued behind the scenes as pension providers prepare to connect to the system over a staged timetable. But wait. This is where things become much more interesting. Most people hear the words Pension Dashboard and immediately assume it is just another government website. It isn't that simple. The real purpose is much bigger than that. Think about how many people have worked for several employers throughout their careers. Every new employer may have offered a different workplace pension. Over decades, those pension pots can become spread across multiple schemes. Some people remember everyone, many don't. And this is what most people are not being told. Industry estimates have suggested that billions of pounds are sitting in lost or forgotten pension pots across the UK because people have changed jobs or addresses and lost track of them. That doesn't necessarily mean the money has disappeared. In many cases, it simply means the owner no longer knows exactly where it is. Now, this could affect your future in ways you didn't expect. Imagine spending years worrying that your retirement income won't be enough, only to discover later that you had another pension sitting quietly in an old workplace scheme. It may not happen to everyone. But for some people, that discovery could make a meaningful difference. That possibility alone explains why so many organizations have been working towards the dashboard project for several years. But here's where things start to get serious. Building a secure national system that connects thousands of pension schemes is far more complicated than many people realize. Every provider stores information differently. Records have been built over decades. Security standards must remain extremely high. Personal information has to be protected. Every connection must be carefully tested before the public begins using it. That is one reason why the program has taken time to develop. And just when people think delays mean nothing is happening, they miss one important detail. Much of the work is happening behind the scenes. Pension providers have been preparing their systems to connect according to a staged timetable set out by the program. That means progress is not always visible to the public, even though significant technical work continues. Stay with me, because this next part changes everything. The dashboard is not expected to hold your money. It is not designed to replace your pension provider. And it is not creating a brand new pension. Instead, its purpose is to help eligible users locate and view information about their existing pensions from participating schemes through a secure digital service when it becomes available. That distinction is incredibly important. Some people mistakenly believe they will receive extra payments simply because of the dashboard. Others assume they must transfer their pensions immediately. Neither assumption reflects the purpose of the program. Instead, the dashboard is intended to improve visibility, helping people understand what pension savings they already have. But wait, another question naturally follows. If this sounds so useful, why hasn't everyone already started using it? The answer lies in the scale of the project. Thousands of pension schemes, Millions of members, extensive testing, strict identity verification, cybersecurity protections, accurate data matching. Every one of these steps has to work correctly before the system can operate as intended, and that is why official updates have focused on steady progress rather than rushing the process. Because when dealing with people's retirement savings, accuracy matters far more than speed. Now think about your own situation for a moment. How many employers have you worked for? Can you confidently name every pension scheme you've belonged to? Do you still have paperwork from 20 years ago? Would you recognize every provider if someone asked you today? Most people pause at that point. Not because they have done something wrong, but because life moves on. People relocate, companies merge, employers change pension providers, documents are misplaced, years pass. And before long, remembering every detail becomes almost impossible. This is exactly the kind of challenge the dashboard aims to make easier in the future. But here's something that deserves even more attention. The dashboard is also expected to encourage better retirement planning. When people can see a clearer picture of their pension savings, they may be in a stronger position to make informed financial decisions, seek guidance where appropriate, and understand whether they are on track for the retirement they hope for. Knowledge changes behavior, clarity creates confidence, and confidence can lead to better planning. That may ultimately become one of the biggest long-term benefits of the entire project. But don't assume that's the whole story, because before the dashboard becomes widely available, there are still important stages ahead, including provider connections, testing, and further preparations. And surprisingly, those next steps could determine how smoothly the system works for millions of people across the country. In the next part, we'll look at what happens next, who is likely to benefit the most, what the dashboard will and won't show, the common misunderstandings people should avoid, and the practical steps you can take right now so you're ready when the service eventually becomes available. But before you assume the hardest part is over, there is something else you need to understand. Building the pension dashboard is only one side of the story. The other side is making sure the information people see is accurate, secure, and genuinely useful. And surprisingly, that may be the biggest challenge of all. Think about this for a moment. Imagine logging into the dashboard for the very first time. You verify your identity, your details are checked, and within moments, you begin seeing pension information collected from different providers. For many people, that could be the first time they have ever viewed their retirement savings in one place. Now imagine discovering a pension you had completely forgotten about. It sounds unlikely, but it happens more often than many people realize. Over the course of a working life, people change employers, move home, update their names after marriage, or simply lose old paperwork. Years later, trying to remember every pension scheme becomes almost impossible. That is one of the reasons why the dashboard has attracted so much attention from the pensions industry. But wait. This next point is just as important. The dashboard is designed to help you find and view your pensions. It does not automatically combine them into one account. It does not move your money. And it does not make financial decisions for you. That distinction matters because there has already been confusion online. Some people have mistakenly assumed that once the dashboard launches, all their pensions will automatically be merged together. Others believe they will receive payments directly through the dashboard itself. Neither of those assumptions reflects how the service is intended to work. Instead, the goal is to provide a clearer picture of the pensions you already have, making it easier to understand your retirement savings before deciding whether to seek guidance or financial advice. And this is what most people are not being told. Seeing all your pensions in one place is only the beginning. Understanding what those figures actually mean is the next step. For example, different pension schemes may provide information in different ways. Some may show an estimated retirement income. Others may display the current value of your pension pot. Depending on the type of pension, the information available can vary. That is why experts continue to remind people that the dashboard is a planning tool rather than a replacement for professional guidance where needed. Stay with me, because this next part could save many people unnecessary worry. Not everyone will see every pension appear immediately. As pension schemes connect according to the program's timetable, information availability may develop over time. If someone does not immediately find every pension they expect, it does not necessarily mean the pension has been lost. Sometimes records need updating. Sometimes personal details do not match perfectly. Sometimes providers are still completing their connection process. This is exactly why accuracy has remained such a major focus throughout the program. Now, this could affect your future in ways you didn't expect. The more accurate your personal information is today, the easier it may be for pension records to be matched correctly in the future. Something as simple as ensuring your pension providers have your current address and contact details could help avoid unnecessary complications later on. It is one of those small tasks that many people postpone, yet it could make a meaningful difference. But here's where things become even more interesting. The pension dashboard is not only about today's retirees. It is also about younger workers who may still have decades before retirement. Why? Because the earlier someone understands their pension savings, the more opportunities they may have to review contributions, plan ahead and make informed decisions over the course of their career. In other words, the dashboard is designed to support people throughout their working lives, not just when retirement is around the corner, and just when people think they understand the full picture. Another important detail appears: cybersecurity. Whenever personal financial information is involved, protecting that information becomes absolutely essential. That is one reason why the program has placed such a strong emphasis on security, identity verification, and careful testing before wider public access. For millions of people, confidence in the system will depend not only on what information it shows, but also on how safely that information is protected. That is why progress has been measured rather than rushed. Because trust cannot be built overnight. It has to be earned. So what should you do now? First, don't panic if the dashboard is not yet available for everyone. The program is still progressing through its planned stages. Second, keep your pension records and personal details up to date with your providers whenever possible. Third, be cautious of scams. Whenever a major financial service receives attention, fraudsters sometimes attempt to exploit public interest. Remember that the pension dashboard is intended to help you view information securely. It is not an invitation to hand over passwords, transfer pensions without careful thought, or respond to suspicious messages claiming urgent action is required. If someone contacts you unexpectedly, pressures you to move your pension, or promises guaranteed returns linked to the dashboard, treat that as a warning sign and verify information through official channels before taking any action. That simple habit could protect both your savings and your peace of mind. And finally, continue following official updates as the program moves closer to wider availability. Progress is continuing, but major projects of this scale develop step by step. Understanding the difference between confirmed updates and online speculation will help you stay informed without unnecessary anxiety. The pension dashboard may not change your pension overnight, but it could change the way millions of people understand their retirement savings. Sometimes the biggest financial opportunities do not come from receiving something new. Sometimes they come from finally seeing clearly what you already have. If you've made it this far, you've learned something that many people still haven't. This isn't just another government project. It represents a new way of helping people understand their retirement savings with greater clarity. Stay informed. Keep an eye on official DWP and Pensions Dashboard updates, and don't miss what comes next. The more prepared you are today, the more confident you can be about tomorrow.